Welcome back to We Need Space, a podcast about actual asexuality by an actual asexual. My name is Mag Piper, and I'll be your host as per usual. I hope everyone had a great Halloween. It's the best holiday. I miss it already. I spent mine pretending to be straight. Just kidding. I never pretend to be straight, just slightly less ace than I normally am. It's stuffy in this here closet. Anyways, I thought that today I'd talk about aromanticism. I know this podcast is about asexuality, but a lot of people who are ace are also aro, and vice versa, including myself. So I figured, why not? It's also almost been a year since I started coming to terms with the fact that I'm aro, and I'm still salty about the circumstances, so here we are. The definition of aromantic is a person who experiences little or no romantic attraction to others. Romantic attraction is an emotional response, which most people experience at one point or another, that results in a desire for a romantic relationship with the recipient. Yes, I had to look up what romantic attraction was. Don't at me. I personally have never experienced romantic attraction. I'm sure if you talk to some of my friends from high school, they'd say, "Oh, but what about so-and-so?" Well, I never really thought about what would happen if me and that person actually got together. It was more of a, this person is fun to hang out with, and I enjoy that they pay positive attention to me. And B, I was trying really hard to be hetero, as in both of those people I had quote-unquote crushes on were males in my social circle. I thought that that's what I was supposed to do. Anyways, romantic attraction sounds fake to me. Moving on. Aromanticism is a spectrum, much like asexuality. It took me a while to find a list of terms, because most of the search results pulled up AvenWiki, which is great, but has more info about asexuality than aromanticism. That's beside the point. I found a really great glossary put together by the Tumblr Arospec Awareness Week. I'll try to link that on my Twitter. I need to remember to link things on my Twitter. Note to self, put a reminder on my phone to remind me to remember to link things on Twitter. There, now I'll remember. You know how sometimes you say a word and it no longer sounds like a word? Remember. Not a word anymore. Doesn't exist. Who's she? I'm getting super off track. And I know it, and y'all know it, because this podcast is scripted. I could have fixed everything and gotten on track, say, 88 words ago, but screw it. I've had a sucky week, and I want to have fun with this today. Yes, I'm scripting and recording on the day the episode is supposed to go up. I'm a fraud. So, back on topic. There are a couple of big words that describe different aromantic attractions, so we're going to hit a couple of those before I get off track again. I mean, I will definitely get back off track because that's the kind of person I am today, but whatever. Y'all are the best for putting up with me. God, I'm in a mood. Okay, so, aromantic. We already covered that one. It's the umbrella term and probably the easiest one to pronounce. Next up is gray romantic. It's the next term under the umbrella, generally used by people who don't feel completely and absolutely aro. This includes things like demi-romantic, akoi romantic, etc. Gray ros can experience romantic attraction, or experience it sometimes under specific circumstances, just not as much as someone who is alloromantic. Alloromantic is experiencing romantic attraction. Sorry, that should have come first. Anywho, demi-romantic is a term for people who don't experience romantic attraction unless they have a strong emotional relationship with the person in the first place. It's a lot like demisexuality, only for aros instead of aces. Akoi romantic is a term for people who experience romantic attraction and may desire being in a relationship, but losing interest in that relationship if the attraction is mutual. I don't want to definition dump on y'all again, so we're going to hit one more before I start talking about my history with being aro. The only reason I'm telling you about this is because I just discovered it myself, and yikes, it me. Bellis romantic, where you want to do cute and fluffy relationship stuff, see cuddling, going on dates, holding hands, but not necessarily in actual relationship. I want cuddles, dagnabbit, but I don't want to deal with an actual relationship. Or maybe I just want a friend. I'm sorry. Okay, so we hit all the definitions that I wanted to, so now we're taking a trip down memory lane, because why not? Summer before last, I almost said last summer, but it's fall, so that's not accurate. Yagul set up a Tinder account. There ought to be a My First Dating account, kind of like those My First Library cards. Anyways, within a few days, I'd met a guy. He seemed great. We worked for the same company, had similar religious views, and got along fairly well. And then he started calling me babe. Now, I'm not particularly bothered by that. I love terms of endearment as much as the next person, but we'd never met because he lives about an hour and a half away and didn't have a driver's license at the time. Should have been a red flag, but I was inexperienced and he was paying attention to me. And I liked it. I'm the kind of person who practically melts at any sort of flattery, and I was being flattered on a nearly daily basis. I knew he was actually who he said he was. I wasn't being catfished or anything. We video chatted a few times. He always seemed more interested in me than I was in him. I was happy to have made a friend, to have someone to talk to, someone who thought I was something important. I flirted with him because that's just what you do when you're talking to someone. I suck at flirting, by the way, but I tried. He kept saying that he wanted to meet up, and I was cool with that, except I never told him when I was in the area to visit my sister. I wasn't invested. Which, that was on me. I kept talking to him, and I did enjoy our conversations. He kept calling me babe. And then I suggested we meet up. I had a day free, I was bored, I didn't mind spending the 3-hour round trip. I thought maybe meeting up would somehow change how I felt about the situation, make it concrete instead of a nebulous idea in my head. It would establish this person as a romantic interest. He said he was busy that day, and I never heard from him again. So, sob story over, now I can continue talking about myself. I started thinking a lot about how I'd felt about the relationships that I didn't have. What would have changed if we had met? What would have stayed the same? Why didn't I care? It hurt that he dropped me like a rock, sure, but not because I was interested in him romantically, more because I have abandonment issues. My apologies again. Mag was assigned female at birth, so sometimes they're in strange moods. Ours. I didn't fully realize I was on the Arrow spectrum until last June-ish. That's when I joined a really great Arrow Ace server. Here's some advice. Find friends who share your sexual or romantic orientation. It can really help if you're ever questioning whether you really are what you think you are. Huge shout out to all my friends on the Arrow Ace Discord server. You know who you are, and you're the best. I'm going to go ahead and stop now, since this episode has been all over the place. So thank you for being patient with me. Every listen, comment, and likes really helps. If you can, feel free to buy me a coffee. The link is in the description, as well as my Twitter bio. You can find that Twitter bio at NeedSpacePod, or you can email me for anything at weneedspace.podcast@gmail.com. The music I use is Mirror Mirror by Diamond Ortiz. This has been Mag Piper, and as always, thank you for listening.